Hello everyone, welcome to Sharmit. From this session, we are going to talk about another very important topic of HTML, which is attributes of form tag. As we all know that we are learning forms from from last few sessions, so it's time to learn about their attributes. Okay. Although we are utilizing some of the attributes in previous examples as well, but we have not discussed it in detail. So in this session, we are going to discuss each and every example of action attribute. Okay. So we have divided this session into multiple parts. So in today's part, we will discuss two methods, or you can say the two types of values for action attribute. But before we start the session, I would like to recommend you to please go and check out the previously released session first, because these all sessions or playlists are in proper sequence and sync. So if you follow them sequentially, then it would be very easy for you to understand the ongoing topic. Okay. For now, we will just focus on the action attribute. And as usual, we have put one assignment for all of you. The question is quite simple. You just need to answer the thing like, why do we use output element in HTML forms? If you know the answer, you can refer. If you know the answer, then you can directly share your knowledge in the comment section. But in case if you don't know the answer, then you can refer the previous session, because there we have already discussed this thing in a detailed manner. Okay. So after watching that session, you can share your knowledge in the comment section. It will not only help you to learn the things and recall the things, but it will also help others to refer the answer if they don't know the answer. Okay. Fine. So I think now we are good to start with the session, and here I have just pasted down one URL that we are going to use for the example or for the demo purpose. So I just kept it here. So I'll show you how we are utilizing it. So for now, we will look at the code. You will see that we are using only one heading here at the moment. Okay. So HTML by Sharmit. If I save this code and refresh my browser, it will show something like this: HTML by Sharmit. Now we are going to discuss about action attribute. So let's discuss that. So for that, what we will write here, form tag, because we are learning about forms, so it's better to create one simple form with a button. So let's add the button as well. The name which I want to give to button is submit, and here in button tag we will put the type as submit. Okay, so we just pasted down the type as submit. Now save this code and refresh your browser. So right now, if I click on submit, it will do nothing, right? Because so far we have not specified any input value. So let's add one input value here. So for that, I will add the input tag, and in this input tag we will write the type as text. Okay, we are going to receive one text, and its name would be maybe username. It's not always mandatory to keep the name as username. It is up to you which you want to use. Whatever you want to use, you can use. Okay, but for now I'm using the name as username. Along with this, we will also use the placeholder, and in placeholder we will write again username, because it will give user the hint that here we are supposed to put the username. So let's save the code and refresh your browser. So here on this browser, now we have one input field and one submit button. So what we can do with this, we can simply put the values here. So let me put the values, for example, username as Amit. And once I click on the submit button, you will see that this data has been moved to the same page, right? You can see here, and by default method is get method, although we will also discuss the methods in the upcoming session. But just a hint that by default method is get method, and in case of get method, we will get the input out, means we will receive the parameters in the URL itself. Whereas when we talk about the post method, we will see that it will not came in the here at this place. Okay, fine. So right now we have not specified the action attribute. At this moment, if someone clicks on the submit button with the data, so that data will be transferred to the same page. Okay, so what type of value we are passing here? So this type of value is empty or omitted. Let me explain you how. So we will write here h2, and here I will write empty or empty slash omitted action attribute value. Clear? So let's save it, and this time we will use the action attribute. So here I will go for the form tag, and here we will apply the action, not accept, it should be action, and here we will write nothing. So if you have specified only action without providing anything, then this type of thing is known as empty or omitted action attribute value. So right now if I save this code and refresh my browser, you will find that if I put something here and click on submit button, it will take the data to the same page. Now some of you might be thinking same thing we discussed when we didn't pass anything here. So yes, right, because this is the default value for action attribute. Okay, so this thing you might see in the interview question, like what is your default value in action attribute. So you can simply say it is empty or omitted action attribute value. So this is default value for action attribute. Clear? Now you can save this code and refresh your browser. Once you refresh, let me add parenthesis again, it would look good. Okay, fine. So this is the default value. When we are not specifying anything, it means we are going with a empty or omitted action attribute value. Fine. Now what other value we can specify here? Like there are actually many values that we can specify, but in this session we will just discuss only two things. First we already discussed, which is empty / omitted action attribute value, and this is the default one, right? Now we will talk about the second one. So let me put in a way 1 and 2 so that you can easily identify what all methods we have discussed. So let's add h2. Here we will write second, which is absolute value, or you can write absolute action attribute value. Okay, so this is the second one. So in this case, what we can do, we can put any particular or specific URL where you want to transfer your data. Let me show you how. So we will use this URL now. So I'll just copy it from here, paste it in the action part, and then we will save and run the code. So let's save it and run the web browser. So this time if I write here Amit and click on the submit button, it will take me to this Google page, right? Because the URL which we provided here is www.google.com, and accordingly it takes me to this page along with my data, because we are using get method. By default method is get. Don't get confused between the methods right now, because we are going to discuss that again. Okay, for now we are just focusing on action attribute. So here if you provide any URL, it will take you to that URL, to the specific URL along with your data. It's clear? Fine. Now some of you might be thinking, like, is it mandatory to always keep google.com here? No, it is not. You can use youtube.com, you can put your own website or anything you want to show here. Okay, but for now, just for the test purpose, I tried this google.com because this is the easiest way to test anything, because this is something that we all use on the regular basis. So I just tried with the google.com, and you can see it is working as expected. Okay, so far we have discussed two type of values for the action attribute. One is empty or omitted action attribute value, which we use when we don't want to move the data to any particular page. Instead we want to reload the data on the same page. Clear? Second thing we discussed, which is absolute action attribute value. That means when you put the value, when you put any particular URL there, then that means you are going to submit the data to that particular URL. It could be anything. It could be the google.com, facebook.com, youtube.com, or any particular website where you want to transfer your data. Clear? So both values, I think it is clear now, like how we can use both value and what are the difference between these two value. Because prior to these sessions, like we discussed only one thing, like action, TS, PGM, temp. But what all other values we can specify, that we are discussing now, right? So in the upcoming session, we will discuss few more values that we can pass to this action attribute. Okay. Meanwhile, you can refer this session and just try to answer this question in the comment section. Those who will provide the consistent correct answer will be spotlighted in the upcoming sessions. Okay, so yeah, that's all for today. In the next session we will discuss few more things. So thank you for watching Tech Sharmit.